You gonna eat this? Hello? Hello? Oh my gosh, is that a baby? Is that a baby? That crazy. Okay, here, let's eat this. Let's eat this. Yay. Hi, it's Coach MK. I'm in the very serious business of making dinner, which means feeding the baby what she didn't eat for lunch and refeeding the kids what they would not consume at lunchtime themselves. Yay, peanut butter sandwiches. It's not going to change even if you don't like it. Which brings me to the topic of nutrition, a topic I don't like touching. Food is emotional, so is running. I've learned as a run coach that we're never really talking about the running. So if I'm going to start talking about food with anybody. So I've told anyone it is usually required to work with me on an ultra distance that you see a nutritionist. And by usually, I mean like always. And here's why. In any endurance event, the first hour, it's a power competition. Whose muscles are the strongest and can generate the most power? Anyone that does CrossFit can generally fake their way through a 5K on sheer muscular power. They can fake their way through a 10K, not doing any running at all. And I'm just picking on CrossFit because I've got a lot of CrossFitters that don't do CrossFit endurance. They just do CrossFit. So you could lift a whole lot of weight, not run at all, show up at a 5K and do quite well. You could never, ever, ever do any running, lift a whole lot of weight, and force your way, propel your body through a 10K. So that first hour really is about muscular strength and power. From that point forward, it's an endurance game from hour 2. And hour 2 starts at the 1 hour, 1 minute mark. That's the second hour. So from the beginning of the second hour up until the end of hour 4, okay, as you click over to 5, whatever, that's an endurance game. Like you need specific training for that, very specific to the sport, meaning if you're a runner, you need to run. But after that 5 hour mark, something weird happens. The game changes yet again. It's now a nutrition game. And anyone that has just been like, oh, whatever, I don't need to train for this trail race. I'm just going to go from this road marathon to this trail marathon. They got their butts handed to them because they ran out of energy. So this is what matters. It's what you eat on race day during the event is actually less important than what you've been consuming for like the months prior. So let's say you don't get enough protein. You show up on race day, it's not going to be like you instead of tailwind. It's going to be, and I don't really care what you have. I'm just care that like, you haven't been thinking about, you're like, well, the tailwind didn't work for me and I know that now. And I'm like, no. Why are you blaming the tailwind? You haven't had protein of any kind. You have not seen a green vegetable in months. Like, I don't need you being perfect. I really, really don't. God knows you should be eating some ice cream if you're running all these miles and doing all the crazy stuff I ask you to do. At the same time, what you can't do is show up on race day, effectively do something new, like eat on a run, and then wonder why, and then blame the food when it doesn't go well, or the nutrition, or the fueling strategy, or the coach. So your fueling strategy starts now. And it might seem a little bit late to be telling you this if you're going to Rocky Raccoon, but chances are pretty good everyone I'm talking to is going to Rocky Raccoon, has been at least thinking about nutrition on some level, and I know y'all been working with Ellie, so that's why I have not been riding you hard. But this is going to be, it's not going to be a come to Jesus sort of situation. It is going to be a bit of a wake-up call, though. When it's going to be a really big wake-up call when Rocky Raccoon is over, and then we have to get serious about 50-mile mode and how to run when you're fatigued and how to run at night. And, how does your body's ability to cool off change when you're tired and the sun sets? Do you need a light jacket? Do you need a long sleeve shirt? This matters because by the time you figured out, I'm too cold, I need to fix this, you could be in a pain cave that's really, really hard to splunk back out of. So I tell you that to tell you this, nutrition matters. Now we need to start thinking about it. You don't have to be perfect. What we need to do, what matters is that, number one, you're meeting your basic macronutrient needs at each meal. This means you're getting like 3 servings of protein at breakfast and 3 servings at lunch and 2 servings at dinner. You know that you really shouldn't be taking in carbohydrates like the serious heavy starches. Those should be in the evening to help you sleep better. You don't really need a whole mess of them at lunchtime. That you have an idea, again, doesn't have to be perfect. If you have some leftover yams and you're really excited to put them in your breakfast, that's cool. It's just about knowing what you've had in relation, what you're having next in relation to what you've had before. Making sure we're not like going through this only to find out, hey, you have no natural source of magnesium. We need to be supplementing. These are things we don't want to find out before the taper. A lot of this is going to pop out at Rocky Raccoon and when we sit down and decompress after the race itself, and that gives us time to dial things in on our way to 3 days at the fair. But all of this is going to pale in importance to those of you that won the lottery for Vermont. All of this is really going to matter when we're doing this same thing on the trails in Vermont, in the middle of nowhere, in the heat of the summertime. So you've got several chances to practice. I'm not trying to scare you. I just want you thinking. You know you're going to have to eat, so let's prepare some of those meals. Maybe not in advance, but all you have to do is be like, hey, this is going to be a heavy week. I know I'm not going to have a lot of time to cook, so I'm going to brown 3 pounds of ground beef on Sunday night and make sure I have some handy, everywhere I go. Or I know I'm going to be in the car a whole lot, so I'm going to have a cooler and a couple of, or for like Kate's in Iowa, like you probably don't even need a cooler in your car. You just need a place to put it where the bears can't get in. So great, get a whole bunch of those Costco hard-boiled eggs, toss them in a cooler, put them in your car, and you'll be set with food. Thinking ahead like that is really what's going to matter right now. It's not about like, did I eat the perfectly perfect right amount? It'll be like, I don't really care. Meet your macronutrient needs. Don't do anything too stupid. And you're going to be, and on top of that, I don't care what you do. If your macronutrient needs are met, I don't give a shit if you eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's. I don't give a shit if you eat 4. I really don't. What matters is what you're doing on an ongoing basis. If all your macronutrient needs are met, I am going to be silent. If they are not, I'm not going to let you blame me or the tailwind or the fuel or the goo or the Munch Bites or whatever it is that you're taking in. I'm going to be like, I think the problem's the planner, FYI. So there's that. Sorry to be salty. I'm not in the best of moods. I had a kid at home today that RJ just doesn't want to go to school anymore, and that's awesome. And it's totally what I needed right now. And I'm behind on a lot of things that I didn't mean to be behind on. So I'm not specifically trying to take this out on you. I meant to stream about this a while ago, and it just didn't happen. So you're coached, you're loved. Let's start thinking about nutrition. You don't have to win at nutrition. We just need to not lose. And that gray space in between is gigantic. And I say this is someone that's probably going to be eating Ben & Jerry's for dinner because, fuck it, I'm not training. Yay!